so that you all can get up here and smell them. Now, we're going to ask you not to spray from the bottle because this room would be if we did that, okay? So we have these cute little sticks, and we've sprayed the perfume on the stick, and we're just going to ask you to come up and smell them. And you can do that right now, mill around, or we've got 3 or 4 more minutes where we're just going to be finishing up the craft, and then we're going to get started. So if anybody, or at the end, if you want to look at them at the end, you're welcome to as well. But they're really beautiful fragrances, and gives those of us who get a stomachache and a headache from smelling regular perfumes an opportunity to actually wear perfume.
Okay. Cold?
This was really good.
It is good.
I've always just thrown it magnesium.
My daughter came up last week and said I already
Yeah. Okay. I haven't.
Did you check on the
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. And if you would like to come and smell wild notes, if you'll just do it at the end. We're going to keep this up here for everybody. But before we get into tonight's topic, we wanted to talk about this month's free gifts with purchase. Can you guys hear me? Different things that you can get for free. As always, in Young Living, every month they give us free gifts, which is always super generous of them. When you spend 100 PV on your loyalty order, you will get a free bottle of Gentle Baby. Now, Gentle Baby it's a 15 milliliter bottle, and you're probably thinking actually I would like to know how many of you have never used Gentle Baby before? Okay, this is not just for babies, believe it or not. It is for all people who have nervous systems, including horses, dogs, anybody. And so Gentle Baby is very, very gentle. It's actually an oil that you can use on infants. When I used it on my son, I did not have to dilute it. You can test it to see, but Gentle Baby is designed for babies, kids, moms, parents, honestly all humans. And it smells really, really wonderful. It's very delightful smelling. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm going to tell you what the oils that are in it so you kind of get an idea. It has lavender, which teaches your body how to rest. Roman chamomile is really good for big feelings. So if you have anger or you have grief, this is a good oil. Geranium is excellent for skincare. And ylang ylang helps with emotional balance. Bergamot and lemon lift heaviness and improve your mood. Rose and jasmine are very nurturing and emotionally comforting. And then coriander, which helps with clarity and confidence. All of that's in Gentle Baby. So you can diffuse it, you can put it on topically. For mothers who just have babies, they like to put it on them. It helps with bonding. It's a great, great oil. For pets that are anxious, you would use it like peace and calming or stress away. It's a great oil. So that's when you spend 100 PV on your monthly loyalty order. Jenny just passed around perfume sticks with Gentle Baby on it. So each table has one to smell. Okay, so you will get a chance to smell Gentle Baby. It's coming around on a little stick, perfume stick. When you spend 200 PV, whether it's just a quick order or your monthly, you're going to get a free bottle of patchouli. Patchouli is one of my favorite oils. I use it every single day for deodorant, and I have for years. It is the oil it is the deodorant I use. A drop or two works for my body chemistry. It is very earthy. Some people have a love-hate relationship with patchouli because some people say it smells like a hippie. but it's a heavy oil, and if you diffuse it with other oils, it's going to amplify the oils you put with it because it's such a viscous, not viscous, but a heavier aromatic. It can be very good to diffuse. In fact, a really good diffuser blend for nighttime for sleeping is lavender, frankincense, and patchouli. Equal drops, however many you want to do. I'm very heavy-handed when I diffuse. I might do 5, 6, 7 drops of each, but that's, you can do whatever you like to do. But frankincense, lavender, and patchouli is great sleep blend. Patchouli is also really good in your dryer, on wool dryer balls, specifically for your towels and your sheets. It's a very good freshening scent. And that is when you spend 200 PV. And then when you spend 300 PV, either as a quick order or your monthly order, you will get a bottle of Blue Tansy. That's a big deal. How many of you have not used Blue Tansy? Did I say Black Tansy? Blue. Okay, blue. How many have not used Blue Tansy? Okay, several of you. So Blue Tansy is known for how luxurious it is. Mainly for the skin, also for the hair, and also for emotions. So it's one of the most luxurious oils that Young Living offers. And getting it for free is really kind of unbelievable. So it's from the chamomile family, and they grow it in Morocco, and it's used in high-end skincare. So a lot of ladies that use, that might color their hair, they might highlight their hair, and it gets a little brassy if you're blonde. Blue Tansy takes the brassiness out. You put a drop or two in your shampoo or your conditioner, and it really helps tone that down. You can also put it in your moisturizer or any Young Living skincare. Do it at night. Your skin will be a little blue, but by the morning you'll be glowing in a good way. So, don't let that alone.
I'll blow
Tiny spray bottles or top in there
so exotic. It's so good.
that they can use in any of these that are really good, but it smells like convention and just spritz it on your face. Janet Goodyear says she does. So there's a little tiny spray top bottle in your bag.
Yes.
And if you find an oil that you really love for your face, feel free to just stick that little spray top on there and do a little spritz instead of trying to rub drops on you, right? And so you can, you can do that too.
So when you smell Blue Tansy, you may recognize it because it's in peace and calming and valor. So you're gonna go, oh, I know that smell. So that's when you spend 300 PV. And then the only other announcement is that the frankincense firming cream is on sale 15% off. That is created specifically for the neck and the upper chest area. If you feel a little self-conscious because maybe it's a little wrinkly, maybe not as toned as you want, that firming cream can actually really help. And it's 15% off as well. Okay.
We're gonna talk about highest potential because I do have a
sample of
that to walk around.
So Young Living started this, I don't even know how long ago they started oil them up.
Back at the convention, probably still in the summer.
In the summertime, they decided we're gonna highlight an oil of the month. And I love that they're doing this because typically it's an oil you might not have used before, or maybe it's one that you have on your shelf and you don't know what to do with it. Highest Potential is the oil blend for this month. It's not necessarily on sale, but what we're doing is we're using it every day in the month of February. Now, Highest Potential has a lot of really great oils in it. It's actually one of the oils that I find a little bit goes a long way. And my very favorite way to use it is on my temples. Because what I find with Highest Potential is it clears brain fog for me, and it helps me to focus. And so if you find that you are stuck in a rut emotionally, or you feel like things are just ho-hum, using oils that help with emotions can really help. I know, especially if you're new, you think that sounds really weird, but the scents of the oils, the aromatics of them, impact our limbic system in our brain, and they actually can shift your perspective. So Highest Potential is one of those oils that can really help if you need to get moving on a goal or a direction that you need, and it can help you get out of a rut for sure.
We'll do a couple quick giveaways.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, who's got the tickets?
Who's got the giveaway tickets?
Shaken in a cup.
Oh, in that cup? Vitality drops that you're tasting in the little electrolyte drink. Did anybody not get the electrolyte drink? You don't have tickets yet? Okay.
Okay, where?
Okay, right back here. She just came in. She's at the door. You want to grab her a couple tickets? They're all in here before we do. Give everybody a fair shot. Okay.
Let me get her cap.
Got what's happening tonight coming in. It was pretty horrendous. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, last three digits are 497. Yeah, 497. You get Vitality drops. It wasn't rigged, we promise. Okay. Last three are 509. There you go. Yeah, just a tiny squeeze of that makes the drink plenty sweet. So don't use too much because it really will be too sweet. Okay, so we're going to go ahead with Amy, who is going to talk to us about what is Young Living. Where's Amy Cassels? There she is.
Okay, who's my bell ringer? I'm gonna have to use my timer.
That's time for you if you want.
I can do my timer. Otherwise, I just have anxiety thinking about that.
Yeah, don't worry.
And I'll need.
Anybody brand new in here tonight that is not super familiar with Young Living or does not have any Young Living products in their house today? No? Okay. So this is a great place to bring your friends who need to learn a little bit about Young Living. And I'm going to probably say that several times tonight. But that's what this is for you to have a safe place to bring people who are curious. Maybe they are interested in natural health. And maybe they know nothing about Young Living or oils. So we're always going to have a little segment on who is Young Living. It might be a different person every time. So you're going to hear something different every time.
Okay, so how many did we have that raised their hand? New, brand new? Okay.
Nobody knew?
All right, awesome. Okay, well then for many this will be a review. For most of you this will be a review, all of you. So Young Living started in 1993. I always think this is so cool because I love farmers markets. And that's where Gary started. He started with his lavender in a little farmer's market. And he had this wonderful, amazing essential oil that he had a huge vision for. He was so in love with those essential oils. And people weren't really talking about essential oils. Essential oils were not necessarily anything new. If you've read history books or even in your Bible, they talk about essential oils are used since the beginning of time. And that was currency. That was what they used for medicine. Well, Gary rediscovered them. But he rediscovered them in a way that was not just a perfume like the patchouli in the 70s. It was actually, hey, wait, this is medicinal. This is actually do things for your body, for our environment, and do amazing things. So one farm after the other, he grew and grew and grew. He grew the right way. And they brought this incredible line of essential oils. And from the time that he started with the lavender, he developed something called Seed to Seal. Excuse me, he was doing Seed to Seal from the beginning, but he pretty much put the Seed to Seal standard on it a little bit later on. And Seed to Seal, can we go forward one? No. Okay, so the Seed to Seal is the commitment to you that the product that you are going to get in your hands, they can tell you where that plant came from, where it was harvested, what time of day it was harvested, how long did it sit in the distiller. If I just put some chicken in my pressure cooker and I had no idea how long I put it in my pressure cooker for, but I said it's cooked, I mean, you'd be like, after a while, maybe it wouldn't taste as good, wouldn't be as effective. But with the lavender, with all of our essential oils, they put those in the distiller and for a certain period of time where they know, hey, this is actually going to do what God put it on this earth to do. And they, from all the way back into the seed. So the seed that they use, the soil that they're putting it in, how they distill it, and where it goes from that point into the bottle and how it's tested through multiple parties in the most state-of-the-art testing possible. So that's just a little bit about our seed to seal. And one of the analogies I'd like to use in my 30 seconds left is if I were to have a farm and a store, a juice store, and in that juice store, you walked in, you ordered juice, and you were like, where's that juice coming from? And I said, I don't know, I just bought the vegetables at Walmart. You'd be like, ugh. But if I said, oh, I've got a farm in the back with all the fruits and vegetables, and I grow them all organically and this and that, you'd be like, whoa. That is really cool, because you would know exactly where it was coming from, and that's what's happening when you are ordering Young Living essential oils. From that point forward, it's just gone haywire. They've made supplements, they've made cleaning products, skincare products. It's gone all over the place. Ding, ding, ding. That's my timer.
Awesome.
Nice job, Amy. Thank you so much. That was great. Did you learn something that maybe you didn't know? Yeah, pretty cool, right? Okay, Jenny is going to talk to us about one of the farms. Each week we want to highlight a farm so you have a little bit of information about some of those farms that Amy was talking about.
So Terry's going to pull up in just a second. There's a video that I have back in January of 2020. My husband and I went to Naples, Idaho, which is just north, it's in North Idaho, just south, 1 hour south of the Canadian border. And that is where we have our Idaho Grand Fir farm, our Idaho Blue Spruce, and our White Fir. And it was one of the best trips I have ever been on. Aside from it being Young Living, it was such a powerful, powerful trip. And what we're going to do is we're going to see, we're going to turn down the music, and you can watch as I'm kind of sharing about this. Now, there's a couple inside jokes that you will not get. You will say, what is that picture? Just go with it. You know how when you're with a group of friends, there's some fun things that happen? You'll see in a minute. There's something you're thinking, what in the world? But Highland Flats is one of the newer farms. It was built in 2014. For years, Gary Young would harvest the Idaho Grand Fir and the Blue Spruce and the White Fir, and they would have to truck it all the way south, about 150 miles to St. Mary's Farm, where they had the distillers. If you've ever been in North Idaho, some of the roads can be treacherous. In the winter especially. I know we've been several times, in the summer and the winter, and there are some parts of that trek that he would have to take that there are no guardrails, and he's driving an 18-wheeler with all these wood chips, and thankfully he had a trucking background because he had been in the logging business, but it was dangerous. So they were able to build this new distillery, and it is such a great, great place to visit. We are allowed to do that. You can we did this this past summer, or not this past summer, a couple summers ago. We went up there and, I just called up the farm manager and said, hey, I've got my kids with me. Can we come by? He said, sure, come on. And they showed us every square inch of that farm, behind doors, everything. And so with winter harvest, what happens is you get a group of people together. We had 19 of us, cross-line. We had people from other teams. And we went and spent, I believe it was like 5 days in North Idaho. And what they do is they walk you through the process of how they actually harvest the trees and the care and the integrity that goes into it. Every single part of the tree is chipped and made to be put into the distiller. There's nothing that gets wasted. In fact, even with the circulation of the water that they use for the steam process comes from the mountains, and they actually repurpose it after the whole process ends, so nothing is wasted. Everything is reused, and nature is respected. They're not going through and just hacking all the trees down. They have a method, and they know exactly when a tree is ready to be harvested and when they need to wait. And so what we did is we had an experience with every part of the farm. Right there you see the laboratory where every batch of oil is tested before it ever even leaves the farm. And what's so interesting is that once they get these huge drums of oil that are ready to be shipped, they have a guy come in a truck, and he has to sign off on this insurance policy because he has hundreds of thousands of dollars of oil that he is carting further south, eventually to make it to Utah, where it is then tested again and again. But I think the biggest thing about going to Winter Harvest is that this company isn't all words. Like, what I saw was the heart behind the company. I saw that these are real people that actually really love what they do. Some of the actual workers that are there year round, there's a lady named Gabriella, she's been there for years. She treats this process like it's her child. Everything is very, very meticulous and well thought out. And what we get in these, that's the joke right there. Yeah. Everything is so well thought out. And I think the thing that just really struck me was the integrity and the fact that any question we asked, they would answer. That's another inside joke. But what we did is we stayed in tents, but they were like the army tents that were actually very warm. It was my first time to ever experience a real wood-burning stove, and I fell in love with them. I wish that we could have them here in Texas, but we would melt. The heat, that we were never cold. I worried thinking coming from Houston, like, oh, this Idaho weather's gonna just kill me. And it was beautiful. It was, 20 degrees and snowing, but we were warm, we were well fed. We were the ones that cooked in the camp kitchen. We rotated and took nights. It was really a bonding experience, and that's my husband. So it was a trip of a lifetime, and it's a trip that you can actually go on. You can go to this farm, you can go to any of the farms, but sometimes they'll do like a summer harvest at St. Mary's where they'll be harvesting Melissa, which I really want to do. St. Mary's is only about an hour and a half from here, and so we were able to go to both farms, and you can see, the process and what happens with the distillation and just what goes into our bottles of oil. I'm going to pass around this Idaho Grand Fir. A lot of times you'll hear it be referred to as Idaho Balsam Fir. That is the original name that it used to be, but Gary wanted, or not actually Gary, after Gary passed away, they decided to name it the specific name that it is. Balsam refers to a wide variety of species of trees. Grand Fir is the official name, but they're interchangeable is what I'm telling you. So if you have a desk reference that says Idaho Balsam Fir, it's this one. But I'm going to pass it around, you can smell it, and then in a little bit we're going to have a Gary teaching on this. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this oil, but this is what we distilled when I was there. So.
Awesome. So that was winter harvest. Winter. Okay.
Winter harvest. Okay, Beth, where are you?
Okay.
Yes, Beth's gonna just do a quick little what is an essential oil in case you didn't know.
Okay, Beth Harbison.
I could listen to the farms all day
Yeah.
because it's so real. I mean, I ended up in September.
Okay, Beth Harbison. I have a basil plant just as demonstrations. So 50 pounds of basil will equal 1 ounce of oil. So I'd like to pass that around. You guys can smell it, and this will be a giveaway as well. So what is essential oils and how do you use it? Have you ever walked by a lavender field or peeled an orange and instantly felt something change? Calmer, happier, more awake? That's because plants were designed with powerful natural compounds, and essential oils capture those compounds. An essential oil is a highly concentrated extract from a plant, taken from the flower, the leaf, the bark, the root, the resin, or the peel. Because they are concentrated, a little goes a long way. There are 3 main ways to use essential oils. And so just a little background, I used to be a pharmacist, so this was very, very therapeutic when I learned a lot about essential oils, because there's 3 ways. You can breathe it, aromatic; topical, you can apply it; third one, you can have it internally. So the aromatic one is just breathing it, the smelling of it. Aroma goes straight into the limbic system of the brain, which controls emotion, stress, memory, and mood. You can use oils aromatically by diffusing them, inhaling them from a bottle, or placing a drop in your hands and breathing deeply. This is great for relaxation, focus, emotional balance, and energy. Topical, you can apply it to the skin. Usually you can dilute it with a carrier oil, like coconut oil. Common areas to apply are like the bottom of the feet, the neck, the shoulders, the wrists, along the spine. Topical use is great for muscle tension, skin support, and immune support, and everyday wellness. A good rule of thumb is to start with less, and you can always apply more. So internally, only if labeled for dietary use. Some essential oils are approved for internal use and can be taken safety when used as directed. This may include 1 drop in water, like we talked about with the electrolyte drink. You can use it as a veggie capsule or cooking with it, like lemon or peppermint. Internal use is often for digestive support, immune support, or cleansing. Always follow the labels and brand guidelines. So in summary, essential oils are powerful plant extracts, and you can breathe them, apply them, and this label, you can ingest them. Okay, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's see. Get to my list. Okay, you should win Terry.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, I'm multitasking over here.
We do have to always mention Nature Red, and that is because it is, like, everybody needs it. Everybody needs it, and it's not yet the top selling product on my team. I don't know if y'all know that you can tell what is selling the most on your team. Do y'all know how you can figure that out? If you are a brand partner and you have the Olio app, you can go in under the organization and you can kind of finagle some things and figure out what are the top products. Guess what the top product selling in January for my team was? Balance and Burn, 750 units. Yeah, so you can go in there and see, and it's not the top, and I think Nature Red should be the top selling product, so I'm gonna keep talking about it until we get it up there.
I agree. Okay, Nature Red is Young Living's signature wellness drink that everyone needs to be on. It is wolfberry, goji berry drink, and the berries are grown in Ningxia, China, where the berries are nourished by the Yellow River, which gathers all the minerals as it goes through the mountains and goes and then falls all over the bushes. Lovely description there. Just dumps on them. You cannot grow wolfberries or goji berries anywhere else with a high mineral content because the magic in these wolfberries is the Yellow River. Ningxia Red has the highest protein count, or rather, the wolfberry has the highest protein count of any fruit on the planet. Ningxia is 15% protein and 21% fiber by weight. They put essential oils inside the drink to help with digestion and flavor and just all the things that essential oils help with. In my family, if someone has a tummy ache, they ask for Ningxia. Headache, Ningxia. Tired, Ningxia. Rough day, Ningxia. Anxious, Ningxia. You get the point. We reach for Ningxia for everything. I buy a year's worth of Ningxia every July when I go to convention because it's that important. Sometimes I still have to buy it when I'm back home because we'll go through it. But it is a whole body supplement safe for the entire family from babies to elderly. So it is an easy button for moms. You don't have to have a lot of things in their cabinet if you have Ningxia Red on hand. You need to know about the 14-day reset. It is it's a group of people who drink Ningxia in high amounts for 14 days. You are resetting your cells, you're resetting your body, your digestion, your sleep, all of it. Since Ningxia cleans the receptor sites of the cells and floods the body with nutrition, when you drink between 6 and 12 ounces a day for those 14 days, you are literally resetting your health. People are losing weight, lowering your need for insulin, improving eyesight, so many testimonies, hundreds and hundreds of testimonies online. And there's a group, an app that you can join, and you'll get all these things. You'll get downloads, printables, trackers. You won't be left alone. You'll get meal plans, shopping lists, and all that. Highly recommend the 14-day reset. Okay, who's next?
So, yeah, Karen is next. Yep, you're gonna be talking about an oil called Awaken. Thank you so much, Terry. That was amazing. We did pass out samples of Ningxia Red earlier. Raise your hand if you did not get a sample of Ningxia Red. And you want one. You ready? Okay. All right. So Karen Douglas my friend and my sponsor and enroller in Young Living is gonna share with you something that she shared at the Diamond Summit. So all the diamonds were invited to Utah a couple weeks ago. We went and got a chance to talk to corporate and take some courses and learn some things and connect with each other. And Karen was invited to speak about the Awaken Oil to the other diamonds on this trip. So you all are gonna get to hear what Karen taught to the other diamonds.
But before I do that, I want to give a shout out. Who was here last month? Now, this is not a giveaway, so don't make me, I don't want to tease anybody. Who was here last month? Okay, so those of you that were here last month, how many of you guys have been using your little inhaler? We made peppermint inhalers. I have been going to town with this, and I'm telling you, talk about the chip noise gone. You know what I mean? Chip noise, like, you know, food chatter, chip chatter, no chip chatter, you know? I've just been smelling it constantly, and I have loved it. And I even, while we were on this diamond trip, I took this with me, beginning of the year, fasting with my church, you know, and I just kept smelling this, and I really was quite good. It was so good. So make your own. Just order this little thing from Amazon, put a little peppermint in it, and smell it. If it's a weight loss thing, I don't know that it's a weight loss thing other than a thing I like to do. I like peppermint, and it just smells amazing. So I'm just throwing that out there, that if you haven't experienced it, it's a great experience, and I think it really does have something to do with helping the food noise go away so you don't have to think about it, and you just feel good. So let me move forward. All right, Awaken Essential Oil. So it is a blend made from blends: joy, forgiveness, present time, dream catcher, and harmony. All of those oils are blends, and that's what makes up the Essential Oil Awaken blend. So Awaken was created to support clarity, motivation, and emotional momentum. It's designed to help us reconnect with our inner drive when we feel stuck, tired, or mentally foggy. Awaken is not about us trying to push harder and faster, but more about us remembering what already lives inside of us. And many people describe this oil as being grounding yet energizing. It's also emotionally supportive, clarifying to our minds as well. And it is not a type of an oil, even though it does all those things, it's not going to bring an overstimulation to yourself when you're using this oil. So what makes this, and I'm actually going kind of quick because we do have a timeline, so I'm going to keep pushing. What makes this beautiful oil so unique? Well, if you know anything about Young Living and you know about our founder, Gary Young, he was very much into emotions. Emotions are paramount with us. That's kind of what runs us, if you will. And so this particular oil works on an emotional level first, right? So it supports your focus, your confidence, and follow through as well. And a great time to use this oil is during transition or decision making. And we all have a lot of that going on in our lives. So using a little Awaken will definitely give us a little support. It also helps to shift us from hesitation to intention. So even if you're a business builder or you're thinking of being a business builder with Young Living, I mean, it could be anything that you're thinking of, but you need to pursue whatever it is you're pursuing. We need to do that with intention. So I want to make this relatable because it's still the new year. It's February 2nd. I can still almost say Happy New Year, right? So let's make this relatable. When it comes to a new year, a lot of times we think that it's time for us to recreate ourselves, make a new self, do a new thing, do something completely different. Well, that's not necessarily it, because you don't need to be a brand new you. I don't need to be a brand new me. We basically just need to reconnect. It's not about reinventing ourselves. So we need to reconnect. We need to awaken our minds to the things that are in front of us and focus on those things. What Awaken will do, it brings us back again to remind us to not, sorry, my thing just, let me find my spot. Okay, it reminds us to stop chasing the loud things that are out in the world around us, because there's always something going on around us. But it helps us to want to sit back and settle in and, again, be intentional about the things that we need to do. So Awaken is something, it's an essential oil that will help us awaken parts of ourselves that may have gone quiet. So we always have things going on in our lives that will just have us sit down and be still for just a little bit. So whether your quietness is from your daily routine, responsibilities that you have going on in your life, or maybe you're in survival mode right now. I know that was me at one point. And so in that, I still needed to be awakened. My biggest thing was when I was going through my trauma, I didn't know what oil to use at first. I had one of the large kits, the Aroma kits, that has basically almost all the oils in it. I didn't know what to do, so I just slept on the kit. And I figured something would help, right? It was my pillow for quite a while. But anyway, survival mode, it's a real thing. We all go through it one time or another. And if that's where you are, I would encourage you to just take that awaken and start using it. So it's not about setting bigger and better goals, because the goals that you have, I'm sure they're perfectly fine. You just need to be intentional. And when I say you, I promise when I wrote this, when I started working on this, I had to look in a mirror and I had to say the same thing to myself. My goals are fine, I just need to focus in on what it is I'm doing. I need to make sure that I have clarity and purpose in the goals that I'm doing. Because these goals are already in my heart. So I know what to do. You know what to do, just like I do. So I like to frame Awaken like this. It's not about do more energy, but move with intention kind of energy. It reminds us to pause, to take a deep breath, and choose alignment over pressure. The pressure is always going to be there, and we always have a choice. So if we choose to align with the right things, life will be a lot smoother for us. Awaken supports conscious forward movement rather than rushed and hurried momentum. I want to read something to you that Gary said in 2004 when he was in Detroit, Michigan doing an event. He said, "Awaken is a blend I call blending the flesh and the blood. I made it for awakening your highest potential and bringing you to a state where you can move into higher levels of learning and development. I wanted an oil blend that would awaken the inner desire of passion, because that is what I see too little of in our world today. When you want to have some amazing drinks and feel that passion, use Awaken and Passion together." So passion is another blend essential oil that Young Living has. He also goes on to say, "I put Dreamcatcher on my pillow and Awaken on my face like an aftershave lotion, and I rub it on my temples and my forehead. I put Dreamcatcher on my pillow because I like enhancing my lack of reality." Anybody catch that? Okay, I got like a really big chuckle at the time of thing. And I didn't say this is Gary's writing. But, Mary, his wife, co-founder, she got a really big chuckle out of that part. But this is still Gary's writing. This is what he said. He goes on to say, "I made Dreamcatcher to help you with your visualizing. I selected the oils to help move you into a state of mind where you can envision your reality with intent and deep-seated purpose, and then it becomes a reality. I combined the blends of joy, forgiveness, Dreamcatcher, present time, and harmony to awaken you to that space of joy in your heart. If you are not in harmonic balance in your physical and spiritual well-being, if you are not in a space of forgiving, if you are not in the moment, how are you going to awaken to receive? You don't want to limit what you will receive. Awaken is to help you open your minds to limitless possibilities. So we need to make sure that we are using our Awaken oil, and some of the ways we can use this oil is diffusing it in the morning. So when I realized I was going to do this talk, I started diffusing this oil in the mornings when I was doing my quiet time with the Lord, and I just noticed how much it prepared me for my day, how much more I just felt, I was receiving so much more, I felt. So I really like that. So try diffusing it, or for that matter, if you're journaling, you need some focus work going on, then put a drop in your hands and then make a scent tent. Just put a drop in and cover your mouth and nose with both hands. It's called a scent tent, if you will, and you can smell the oil that way. Inhale it directly. Also, Awaken is our invitation sorry? No? I didn't get one. You didn't get one? Okay, it's okay. No worries, sorry. Okay, so awaken is an invitation to wake up gently, get out of your own way. It's an invitation to pay attention to who you hang around and who you listen to. How many know how important that actually is? Because the people that you hang around and listen to, if they're not keeping you up or bringing you up or taking you to the next level or challenging you in a right and good way, they might not be the people you need to be around. So consider that. It's important. That's why you guys come here. We try to lift each other up and encourage each other. So this is a good thing. But Awaken is also an invitation for us to stop playing around with faith, but to have faith. Have faith in the God that you serve. Have faith that He's put these things inside of you and you know where you're going and what you're doing and what your intention is set on. Awaken is a reminder for us to move with intention, and it's a reminder for us to move forward to and with limitless possibilities, because we are the limit that we set on ourselves. We can take off the limits or we can set the limit. So it's all up to us, but we can be limitless.
Okay.
Woo.
Giving away a bottle of Awaken after that beautiful talk. So let's see who we get.
All right. Last four.
Yes.
540. Yay!
There you go.
After listening, I was gonna buy it.
There you go.
Enjoy it. It is such an amazing oil.
Oh my goodness. And not very expensive, like $24, and it has all 5 of those beautiful blends in it. So beautiful. Tasha, come on up. Time for testimonials. So if you have something to share.
Good evening. Yes, this is my favorite part because you get to hear so much from all of you guys and what is working for you, what your testimony is, how Young Living Oils have changed you. For me, this past 6 months, it's been my hair. I don't know if y'all know your hair falls out in the winter. Any of y'all have that problem? Yeah.
So is it winter all the time then?
Yeah, it's menopausal, but winter is known for it being on the worst. So I've been using rosemary essential oil. As we know, not only does it help your hair grow, but it also is good for brain, mood, all of that, memory. So sleep in rosemary, castor oil, and B6 at least once a week. Wash that out. I also add in lavender, or we can do patchouli because that's the oil of the month for your hair. And you can add in those oils and you will see a difference. I've got so much new hair growth, but it's just being consistent. So that's my personal testimony for the oil that I've been using, and now I'll be adding in patchouli. So I'm excited to learn about that.
Once a week in an oil, like.
So I massage it into the scalp all over, and I sleep in it overnight, and then wash the next morning. And it just makes your hair soft, and it literally you will see sprouts. And you kind of look at my hair, you'll see like little sprouts all over from hair growth. So that does work for sure. So that's my testimonial. So who else has one that they would like to share?
Sing the oils again.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
sorry.
Rosemary?
Rosemary is the #1 for hair growth, and I know there's a study, I believe on PubMed, that talks about how it's compared to Rogaine. So it is known to be comparative to that. That's the #1 oil, and of course lavender, we know cedarwood's good for hair growth, and then as I just learned is patchouli, so you can add that. Ylang-ylang is great. There's so many great oils. So whatever you choose, just massage it in, sleep in it overnight, and do that at least once a week, once or twice. And I've been doing it consistently for over 6 months, once a week.
Like wear a turban or something, so.
Yeah, I just sleep just like this.
Oh, you do? Okay.
It doesn't. I mean, I have one pillowcase that you put it on, but I don't worry about that. But some people might want to do that. I don't know. For me, I haven't done that. I just put it in, sleep in it, wash it out the next morning. And if you don't want to do sleeping in it, just do like a self-care day where you're going to be home. You're going to be there for 4 to 6 hours. Put it in and then wash it out later. You don't have to sleep in it. It's just a matter of keeping it on for that time frame. That's just what's worked for me.
Are you putting castor oil on the hair too? Okay.
So castor oil, B6, rosemary, and then whatever other oils you might want to add
And
in.
you do you put it in a dropper and then drop it in your hands, or are you like?
I mix it up in like a little container, and then I have a pump, and I just keep it on my vanity, and then like a little glass jar with a pump, and then I just pump some out and massage it in, and then I refill that as I run out.
So you don't wash it afterwards if you leave it in?
I don't wash it. I let it sit for 4 to 6 hours. For me, overnight just works best. But that's just
It
what I
doesn't make
prefer.
your hair oilier.
No, you wash it, I'll do a double wash the next morning and no problems.
It will make your hair oily. If you're putting castor oil and B6
Yeah.
on there, you're gonna have a nice oily head.
Yes, I'm saying, but you won't have it oily when you wash it out.
But you wash it
Yes.
out the next morning.
Yes, that,
Yeah.
but you don't have to wait, like I said, it could be, a day you just wanna be home and you have time to do that, you can do that as well. But it has worked for me, so I think you should try it, for sure. So who else has a testimonial they would like to share tonight?
Oh, Carolyn, do you want me to come to you? Or you want me
It'd
to
be great if you would come up so we can hear. Yeah, we will have some wireless microphones next month, so we'll just walk into you.
over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, oh, I'm Sarah. Sarah, nice to meet you.
Hi guys, I'm Sarah.
Hi.
So, I have a college student. This is first year off at college, and maybe if you have college students, you know they go and then they kind of do their own thing. So I found out that my little college student got a cough in about October, and it was this. We're not diagnosing anything, but it was kind of going around. His friend went to the doctor. Doctor gave him antibiotics, did nothing. So he's like, well, I didn't do anything. So he comes home at Thanksgiving, and he's still like coughing and coughing and coughing. And I'm like, you're finally home to mama and we're fixing this. And so I oiled that boy up, and so I used Egyptian gold and Raven and Thieves in a little like steam inhaler thing. And y'all, in like 2 or 3 days, he was fine. And he'd had this for weeks. So now he listens to mama a little more.
That's great. The oil we talked about. I think now which kind of brain you want to use.
That was Sarah Falk, by the way. Some of you don't know Sarah. I think this might be your first time here. She's also a diamond in Young Living, just so you know. So thank you, Sarah, for showing up and representing.
So does anyone else like to share a testimonial tonight?
I'll talk about that. Mineral essence.
Oh, yes, I want to hear more about that.
Okay, so mineral essence was in the drink that I brought around, and there's plenty more. Mineral essence has royal jelly in it, and that is just one of the prized possessions in a beehive. It's actually food for the queen bee. Don't worry, they're not robbing any little queens, okay? They're gonna source it sustainably, but there is a small amount of royal jelly in the mineral essence, and that is going to help increase the mineral content. There's a sea salt in there. It tastes very spicy and very salty, so it's like a cinnamon stick and salt mixed together. And you're like, wait, why are you saying that's good? After a while, after you start using it more and more, you are actually going to start craving it, because minerals are the essence of of every chemical process in our body. And we need minerals so bad. We're so depleted of minerals. So if you can get a bottle of mineral essence, keep it in your car, and start with just doing 1 dropper in your water bottle, or if maybe you're a straight shooter in keg standards. No, I'm just kidding. This is supposed to be a joke. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so you can just shoot it, just go for it, and it's gonna taste really salty, and it's gonna taste really cinnamon-y. But after a while, I promise you will get used to it. Now every day I get in my car and I have that mineral essence. I'm sitting in a stoplight, whoop, and I'll do like 5 or 6 droppers. It has helped my migraines immensely, because migraines are very much related to just your minerals being off. If your minerals off, your body can't function the way it's supposed to, and you get dehydrated easy. So for someone like me who gets migraines, mineral essence has been an incredible game changer. That is all.
Does anyone else have something they'd like to share? Any testimonials? Don't be shy. We'd like to hear it, to learn from everybody, for sure.
Oh, I'll give one.
I had a son the other day come and say, I'm peeing all the time. Well, you know what that is. So I just gave him my K and B, which stands for kidney and bladder. And I told him, drink this little bit of water, do it every half hour, the next few hours. And he was fine the next day. So
Was it just a bladder infection, or?
I don't know.
It's a tincture.
It's a
It's a tincture, and
It's a
it looks like
tincture.
this.
Yeah,
It's
and
not an oil, it's a teach?
I always keep at least 2 bottles in my house at all times. My husband takes it to work because he has had kidney stones in the past, and this is the herbal tincture that's kept him out of the emergency room with kidney stones.
Fantastic, thank you so much. I'll turn it back over to you.
Right on time. I'm so excited. We're doing so good on time. Yeah, we're getting better. We're getting better. It's going to get better and better as we get our little routine down. So we're going to kick off with Dr. Tom Reed is going to kick off our little fast training tonight on emotional wellness. And so the overall theme is the ripple effect of emotional wellness. And there are 4 of us that are going to be taking 5 minutes each on this. So he has 5 minutes. 5 minutes to cover the science of emotions. And take it away, Tom.
Okay. Okay. This is really fascinating stuff. I'm just blown away by it as I'm preparing for it and going through it. And I kind of had just a little bit of knowledge about this before, but now it's a whoa. We're going to talk about how emotions affect us biologically, okay? And also how it can affect other people around us. And what the science is showing now is that emotions are not just feelings. They're actually biological signals. And they don't stop just with us. There's something called a ripple effect that it has as well and influences other people, often without even us knowing it or them knowing it either. So that's kind of where we're going with this. We have, yeah, there we go. At a very basic level, your nervous system has one primary job. Anybody know what that is? Keep us safe. Keep us safe. That's what it's intended to do. The question is being asked continuously, but mostly by the unconscious mind, not by the conscious mind. It's done at that level. Your nervous system is constantly scanning your internal state and your external environment. Internal state, external environment, going back and forth and back and forth. Based on what it senses, it adjusts your heart rate, adjusts your muscle tension, hormone release, and also brain activity. This process is automatic, and you don't have to even think about it. It's just being done. One of the most important and often misunderstood relationships in the body is the relationship between the heart and the brain. Most people just assume that the brain directs the heart, right? What you're thinking affects the heart, right? Can we do it? Can you go back?
Sure.
Okay. Go back again. That's the first slide, right?
Correct.
Okay, go to the second slide. In reality, the heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. Go ahead to the next one. In a very real sense, the heart has its own brain. One more time. These heart-generated signals significantly influence brain function, affecting emotional processing as well as the higher cognitive functions like attention, perception, memory, and problem solving. So the brain is not just commanding the heart, the brain is continuously responding to the signals sent by the heart. So they argue back and forth.
Oh, this makes so much sense.
So one of the most powerful factors shaping the heart's signaling patterns is our emotional state. Negative emotion states such as fear, anger, resentment, and anxiety create irregular and disorganized heart rhythm patterns. And on the opposite side, positive emotional states such as appreciation, care, joy, and love create highly ordered and coherent heart rhythms. This state is known as the psychophysiological coherence. This psychophysiological coherence is a state of optimal biological function. Research shows that when we activate this state, our physiological systems function more efficiently, Emotional stability improves, mental clarity increases, and cognitive performance improves. Simply stated, our body works better, our brain works better, we feel better, and we perform better and help change lives. There's one additional aspect of emotional health that is especially important to mention, and that is forgiveness. Oh, by the way, here, I just want you to see this. These little areas here that you see, these puffed up areas, are actually information centers, like little mini brains. They're all part of the heart's brain. And you can see that area around here where those kinds of conglomerations of neurons and those puffy parts are all around the heart. Go to the next one. Okay. So, from a biological perspective, there's one additional aspect of emotional health that is especially important to mention, and that is something about forgiveness. From a biological perspective, holding on to unresolved anger and resentment keeps the nervous system locked in a state of threat. So even when the original event is long past, I can testify to this, the body continues to respond as if danger is still present. And one more. There we go. Forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior or forgetting what happened. It's about releasing the body from the ongoing stress response associated with the memory. Has anybody been there before? Yeah, I think we all have. When we practice forgiveness, whether towards others or towards ourselves, the nervous system can shift towards safety. Heart rhythms become more coherent, stress signaling decreases, and the body is given the opportunity to heal. In a sense, forgiveness is not just emotional work. It's biological care. Now, human interaction is a highly sophisticated biological dance. Most people think communication happens only through words, facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language. But evidence now supports the understanding that a subtle yet influential electromagnetic communication operates just below our subconscious awareness. The heart is the most powerful source of rhythmic electromagnetic energy in the human body. Its electrical field is about 60 times stronger than the brain's, and it can be measured anywhere on the surface of the body. This electrical field, go ahead and go back up one. Yeah, back one slide. There we go. Its magnetic field, we talked about 100 times more stronger than the brain's. And this field carries more information on our emotional state and interacts with the nervous systems of the people around us. Slides show that the signal, studies show that the signal can be measured at least 3 feet from our heart.
Wow.
Isn't that pretty wild? This means our conscious and unconscious emotional states, positive or negative, are continuously broadcasting biological signals to those in close proximity. So this helps maintain a phenomenon known as emotional contagion. One regulated nervous system can positively influence an entire room. Calm is not a personality trait, it's a physiological state. And physiological states can be supported intentionally and daily. When we support emotional regulation, we are practicing preventive care for ourselves and for the people around us. So I'm going to close with one final thought here, and that's one of the fastest ways the brain receives information about safety is through scent. Smell has a direct pathway to emotional and memory centers of the brain, faster than thought or language, and more impressive than thought or language. That's why something as simple as a calming aroma can help shift awareness and signal safety almost immediately. Again, I've experienced that, and even on top of all of this, I'm even more aware of it because I'm watching for it and just noticing it. Emotional wellness does not require perfection. It requires awareness, and it requires attention, and it requires support. I've used a lot of oils, different oils for a variety of reasons, and I think most of us in this room have. Just a few examples for me. We have, I use lavender and Roman chamomile for sleep, Vala for grounding during the day. I use Awaken to help me contact my brain and heart and connect them with how I can better take care of myself and how I can better serve others as well. Thank you.
So good.
Oops, sorry. No, appreciate that. Okay. So my segment is on your thoughts are not you. And you can choose them. Did you know that? Okay, two people can experience exactly the same situation and walk away feeling completely different. The event didn't change. The thought about the event changed. And that thought created the emotion. One of the most freeing things that I have learned is this: your thoughts are not you. They are not facts. They are not facts. They're perspectives. And perspectives are changeable. What we don't realize is that it feels like our emotions are in control. Words matter because words shape our thoughts, okay? We think our emotions are in control, but what triggers the emotion?
The thought.
Oh, what if I could catch it at the thought? What if I could shift the thought? What if I start feeling the emotion and I'm like, I don't want to go there. What other thought can I think, right? Okay, and words matter. Words are not thoughts. Words are expressed thoughts, right? They're things that come out of our mouth. Words matter because words shape thoughts. When we keep repeating what we see, I'm anxious, I'm overwhelmed, our body believes that story. What if I said, I'm excited, and there's so much beautiful things to do? You know, I could change the words, and they might change how I feel about it. It's almost the same emotion. I'm excited, and I'm anxious, right? Doesn't it feel kind of really similar inside you? But one actually helps you, and one of them harms you. Okay, because of the science, whatever he said, okay? But consciously choosing our words that describe what we want to experience, what we'd like to experience, can shift our emotional state. I often, daily actually, use simple declarations like, I am safe. I can. I am divinely guided and protected. Peace be still. You ever wake up in the morning and just feel anxious for no reason? Do you know that somebody spoke to the wind and the waves and said, peace, be still? And you can speak to your surroundings and say the same thing. These words don't ignore reality. They redirect it. You're redirecting your own reality. I actually experienced this yesterday, feeling anxious for no reason, no clear reason, just like this, for a good part of the day, off and on. And awareness doesn't mean we never feel anxious. It means we know how to support ourselves when we do. So awareness is the key. What am I thinking? What's going on? Why am I feeling this? So I used tools. I used essential oils to help shift my emotional state. I used intentional words to interrupt the spiral. And when I still felt ungrounded, I used 2 packets of Seedlings Unwind. And the L-theanine, the 5-HTP, and the magnesium really helped me settle, okay? So that's not weakness. I'm using tools, that's wisdom. I, for some reason, couldn't get it under control with my own words and my own, choosing to change my thoughts, so I grabbed my tools. In my family and in my work, people often bring me their thoughts, which are not always pleasant thoughts. And I've learned that if I jump into the deep end with them emotionally, I can't help anyone. So I stay grounded. I don't dismiss how they feel, but I help them reframe the words they're using. When we regulate ourselves, others borrow calm from us. Okay? So if somebody comes to you and they're upset, you can say, I get that. How else can we look at that? Can we see that, this might be an opening to something new? This might actually be a blessing in disguise. This might be this. Let's shift that thought, that emotion. Okay? So awareness gives us a choice. That's all we need is a choice. We're here because we like natural choices instead of pharmaceutical choices. We like things, in our body. You need a choice when your body starts shifting you into negative spirals and things that are affecting not only you, but your entire family, because I'm sorry, it's not just if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. If daddy ain't happy, nobody happy. And sometimes we got a kid who will do the same thing in there. So words give us direction, and support helps us stay steady. And that's how we manage that ripple effect. Okay. Mary.
Awesome. Okay. Man, I love that. I need to hear all of that. Emotional wellness does not require complicated routines, and it can't. That is not sustainable. None of us can sustain a complicated routine. We would forget, and then we would beat ourselves up and become emotionally dysregulated, right? Because we didn't do our routine. So I have personally 2 simple practices that I do to keep myself in the eye of the storm, I call it. Life is like a tornado, or is it just my life? I don't know, but things are swirling around all the time, You've got a kid in a car accident, a daughter who's having surgery, and just all sorts of things, and then just daily, whatever also. But there is the eye of the storm, and that is where I stay. And I'll tell you how I stay there. But I'll first say that your kids are watching. I recently had an adult daughter who is in the throes of raising her kids right now, and she's listening to some of her friends say, I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do this, I need wine, it's at 5 o'clock. And she said, Mom, you never said that. I've never heard you say any of these things. And I was like, no, because I know my weakness, and that would have taken me down, and those aren't truths. I have chosen to walk in truths. And what are those truths? Well, I find instruction and truth in the Bible. Cast your cares on him, for he cares for you. Guys, that's an instruction. It's not cast your cares on him and he's going to stomp on them and laugh at you. No, the one who made you cares for you. And that's for all of you. Okay? Do not fear, for I am with you and I will uphold you. It is said 365 times in the Bible not to fear. I think God's trying to tell us something. We have nothing to be afraid of. He is sovereign and in control. And this tornado doing this around us can't touch us without his permission. And if he allows something to touch us, we have to say, what are you doing, Lord? I believe you. I trust you. I know that I'm safe with you because he can be trusted. You are more valuable than many sparrows, Matthew 11:28. You are more valuable than all the sparrows. And he knows when they fall. He feeds them. He clothes the lily of valleys. You are more valuable. These are truths that I think on, okay? Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That is a good one for all of us right now, right? Especially for mamas. We have a lot on our plate all the time. But guess what? We don't have to control it. We don't have to carry it. We can trust that God's going to take care of our kids. He's going to take care of that situation. He is in control. So that's the first thing I do. I find my instructions and my promises, and I think on them, and it tethers me to the eye of the storm that is still flying around me, okay? The second thing I do is I use what he's given me to use, and that is the oils. Oils were not man's idea. Oils were God's idea, and you can find them in the garden. In Revelations 22:2 says, and the leaves and the trees are for the healing of nations. Well, what do you think is inside the leaves? That's where we get essential oils. And all of the plants are essential oils. These oils are powerful, and they were given to us for healing, for emotional and physical healing. Use them every single day. My go-tos are highest potential, frankincense, peace and calming, all of the emotional oils, any of the emotional oils, whatever's near me is my go-to. I mean, my family goes through so many oils. I just made a Vegas roller blend for my husband that is life-changing. It has 20 drops of Melissa in it. I'm like, don't lose that. So it's so good. So that's my 2-step program. Jesus and oils. That's it. I'm gonna stay on the
So she pretty much summed up what I was gonna say. Perfect. Perfect. I love what everybody shared so far. I'm just gonna share briefly some ways that I try to cultivate peace in my home. I am a gardener, a hobby gardener. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I have fun learning. And what I have found is you have to actually tend things that you plant. You can't forget about them. That's common sense. And weeds start to grow really fast. And if you garden at all, or even if you just have a yard, you know what I'm talking about. We all hope that the freeze killed the weeds. We'll see. But we have to tend. You have to tend to your garden, and we have to tend to our emotions. And I tend to sometimes put myself last because I am a mother, I'm a caregiver. I just sometimes forget that I actually need to pay attention and tend to myself and me. And so I really try in my home to have a peaceful environment, not only for my children, but for me. I have to live in peace. And even though, like Terry, I love that eye in the storm analogy, I think that's brilliant because we can't always have everything perfect. There's going to be life, but how we respond to it absolutely matters. So I always have music playing. It's always instrumental. It's usually worship. I love acoustic guitar. I mean, these are just practical things that I'm telling you right now. You might have something else, but to me, music shifts an atmosphere really quick. And so between diffusing oils and having music playing, and if I am in a place of being calm, it just ripples to everybody in the family, like we've been talking about tonight. But what I really love to do every single morning is I do something called a breath prayer. You may have heard of this before. It was a new concept to me about a year ago. Super simple. You take a scripture that you're having a devotion or whatever your scripture you want, and you can partner it with your breath. And so an easy one, be still and know that I'm God. So you would inhale on the first part, be still, and then as you exhale, you're saying it in your head, know that I'm God. So be still, know that I'm God. The act of using your breath with scripture is very calming for your spirit, but also your central nervous system. So I like to take any scripture that I'm looking at, or maybe I'm struggling with a certain thing, and I will turn it into a breath prayer, and it's amazing what it'll do for your stress levels. So that's something that you can do practically. The other thing is the physiological sigh. I was taught this about a couple years ago from a physical therapist, and he said, the fastest way to drop your stress levels and your cortisol is to do a physiological sigh. All it is just 2 breaths. It's a short one. No, excuse me. It's a long and then a short. So it's a regular inhale and then like a quicker, shorter one. So, and you blow out with your mouth. You will find that if you're in a stressful situation, like having your blood pressure taken, even though you have healthy blood pressure, but you're at the doctor and you feel like they're going to look at you, in a funny way. I'm over there doing physiological sighs and, bathing myself in lavender. It helps. It really does help. So that's helpful for just practical purposes for establishing peace in your own body. But we talked a lot about minerals tonight, which I think is important because midday, checking in with yourself, and one thing you can note is if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's usually a sign of some kind of depletion, and sometimes it's nutrient depletion. It may not be, yes, you may be having stress, but the lack of nutrients sometimes can be causing even more internal stress, and so minerals are really important. So not to beat a dead horse, but mineral essence is a game changer, and so I'm so glad we've talked a lot about it tonight, because it supports hydration. And if you are dehydrated, your body goes into chronic stress, and you're not having peace in your body when you've got that happening. So minerals are super important for that. Another thing that I think is really interesting is taking your omega supplement at lunchtime, so your green omegas. Omegas are really, really helpful for calming neuroinflammation. And they actually do really well when you partner it with some good fats. And so taking your green omega during the middle of the day, around lunchtime, can be helpful. But they also help you to focus and to, it just supports you on a cellular level. So even though we're thinking, how do we cultivate peace? Part of that is how do we tend to our health, which is going to in turn help with our emotions. So when your body is supported, your emotions will follow. So I don't know if you've ever thought about that. Like, I feel so overwhelmed. I felt all these things. Maybe we're saying things like Evangeline was talking about before, changing our wording, but there may be a physical reason you're feeling that way. And so supporting your body physically can also be very helpful. And then at the end of the day, you know, there's lots of things we can do. Obviously, diffusing oils, putting oils on, doing more breath prayer. I love to do that right before bed. But taking a bath in bath salts, which you made tonight. Epsom salts, or even Dead Sea salts, are wonderful to put with essential oils. If you're going to use it, it's always good to have the salt, the oils in the salt, and have it sit for a few minutes. So if you're making it at home, and even if you're scooping salt onto your hand and dropping oils, let it sit for a few minutes so it absorbs in the salt, and then just drop it in your bathtub. Typically, you're using between 1 to 4 cups. 4 is a lot if you've never done it. These salts can cause a little bit of a detox reaction. So you want to make sure you've got water with minerals in it next to the tub, and you soak for about anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. But what you'll find is you will be much more relaxed when you get out, and you will sleep a lot better, and you're also helping to detoxify your body at the same time. So if you could do a nightly hot bath, that's great. Even if you don't want to do a bath where you don't have a bathtub, I know a lot of new houses are just doing showers. You can do this as a foot bath, and that would be really, really great too. So it's just practical. It's not brain science, but the problem that I run into, and maybe you do too, is we don't tend to think about ourselves. What do we need emotionally? And it's really not that hard. We just have to make it a practice, part of our everyday life. So.
You have the dairy
So we are going to share for this last part a short little 2.5 minute video. It's an audio, I'm sorry, of Gary Young teaching. And I forgot to bring my little speaker. So we're going to hold the microphone up to the computer and hope that we can hear him. Otherwise, we will have his words up here. What he's teaching on is balsam fir, which remember we talked about is actually Idaho gram fir, and frankincense. And he's talking about this. This was, I don't remember what year this was now. Long, long time ago. Really great little short video. And we're going to listen to it now.
I'd like to show you some validation of balsam. From the University Lab, frankincense, 2 perhaps most powerful oils to be found today in our martial tradition, frankincense and balsam.
Hold on, I'm so sorry.
If we can't get it, we will send you a link to be able to listen to it. Because we have all of your email, right? Everybody either signed in or checked off your name on the list.
This will help, being able to see it.
I'd like to show you some validation of balsam from the University Lab. Frankincense, the 2 perhaps most powerful oils we find today in our arsenal of the clinic. Frankincense and balsam. Well, what's the story of the frankincense tree? Why is it the oldest storage tree in the world? How old is the frankincense? And how old are the stories since the beginning of time? Why is frankincense so popular, and why was it so common in ancient times? Was it because it smelled good? Was it because it was the only thing that was available? Or is it possible it was because it was so effective? Because it was so effective. The stories are that frankincense cured every disease, every ill, from gout to the broken head. How many have had a broken head? It works, doesn't it? How many have had gout? Does it work? Yes. How about arthritis? How about cancer? I would like all of those in this audience who have had an experience, a physical or emotional experience that was causing pain, that changed their lives with frankincense, stand up.
Happy. So, okay, so how many of you are gonna go get Idaho Grand Fir? It is a great oil. In fact, in some of the studies that he did, he said it lowered cortisol better than anything that we have. And you put it on your forearms. So if you have stress, Idaho Grand Fir will drop the cortisol levels, which is really good. I've never heard that one. I will tell you, we had a friend, just one more testimonial, who had basal cell carcinomas on his back. He had several of them cut off, and then they'd come back somewhere else and he'd have them cut off. And he was in a parenting class that we were doing, and he got curious about all these essential oils we had around and decided to show up to one of our essential oil classes. And he is an engineer-ish person, and so he took a picture. He decided to get himself a little kit. We talked about frankincense and its anti-cancer properties. He decided to get himself a little kit, started putting frankincense on there and taking pictures as he went. The dang thing just came this close to completely disappearing with just frankincense, and he and his wife did a little research and decided to add in balsam fir, or grand fir, we call it now, and it completely fell off, went away, and has never had one since. And that was 10 years-ish ago or more. So just so you know, they do work, you know. They're not magic bullets. There's sometimes where we have other things that we have to pull in. But was that a great evening tonight? Did y'all enjoy that? So we had about 5 or 6 people come early and help set up and pack the little bags. Would you all stand up so we can thank you for coming early? Yeah. I know, y'all. Thank you so much. We do appreciate the help. It takes many hands to make light work. Yes?
How would somebody use the frankincense for gout? Just rub it on?
Yeah, I would say probably just rub it on, you know?
Just take it by mouth.
Or take it by mouth internally. Yeah. All right, any other questions? We're going to transition here in just a moment, but if we have a couple more questions, we're happy to take them.
Or Epsom salt foot bath.
Epsom salt foot bath? Yeah, with frankincense in there? Sure, absolutely.
How much Epsom salt do you put in your bath?
So anywhere from 1 to 4 cups of Epsom salts in a bath. And you might want to start small and just see.
Like this whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing in a foot bath would be great. But yeah, that whole thing. You're going to put the whole thing in there. If you want a lot of the calming and the magnesium effects of it. Now they do make magnesium flakes that have more magnesium than Epsom salts do. So if you don't want to use so many Epsom salts, you can add in some magnesium flakes and get some additional magnesium that way. But yeah. I get my magnesium or my Epsom salt in a big bag like this. It says agricultural, but it's just Epsom salts because you can put that on your plants in your garden too. So that's a 25 pound bag on Amazon. So it's the cheapest way to get plain. You don't want scented Epsom salts. I have a friend whose son went to the emergency room because of lavender scented Epsom salts that he bought in a pharmacy. And it completely tore up his skin. It was not our lavender, clearly, you know. So, all right, thank you all for coming. Now, we have a little transition here at 8 o'clock. We are going to start we're starting our brand partner section. If you are a brand partner, you're welcome to stay. If you are a customer, you're welcome to stay. If you're just curious, if you're a guest, you're welcome to stay. We're just going to do a little encouragement of our brand partners and a little education for them every month here. And then once a quarter at least, we're hoping to do an all-day Saturday brand partner training at our house. We have plenty of room there for however many brand partners might want to come. And so we'll corral some of these great leaders in here to help us with that. So it won't be just us up there teaching all day, but it will be like a 4 or 5 hour training. So there are some skills that can be learned as we're sharing oils with other people. And so if you need to sneak out, because that is not of interest to you, please feel free to sneak out, and we will see you all next month, and we'll get the invitation out to you sooner so you have more notice next time. All right, thank you all for coming. We appreciate